Living debt-free is the ultimate goal in life, but unfortunately, when it comes to buying big ticket items like a car or a house, the vast majority of us won't be able to afford paying for the whole thing in cash. This means that we will have to take out a loan in the form of credit at some point in our lives, and in order to qualify for a loan and a good interest rate, the credit provider will look at something known as our credit score. Now, it would seem like the whole system is rigged, as in order to build up a credit score, you need to actually take out credit. One would think that if you just buy everything in cash and avoid credit like the plague, that you would be rewarded and seen as a responsible citizen. Nope, unfortunately not. Credit providers like banks take on risk when they lend you money, and in order to quantify that risk, they need to see a history of your habits on how you have paid off debt in the past. If you haven't taken out credit yet, then you have no credit history, and therefore there's no real data available that they can base their decision on. You will therefore be seen as a high-risk individual and will either not even qualify for a loan, or if you do, you will likely get clubbed with ridiculous high interest rates, which could literally cost you millions of rands when buying a new house. According to a study from TransUnion, which is one of the major credit bureaus in South Africa, less than 3% of credit active South Africans actually check their credit report once a year. That is absolutely shocking and something that I really hope to change. Now, building a credit record is kind of like a catch-22. You need credit to build a credit record, but you also need a credit record in order to be approved for credit. Again, the system is totally rigged. So in this video, I will show you exactly how someone in South Africa could go about building a good credit score from scratch, as well as the pitfalls that you need to avoid in order to maintain a good credit score. First of all, you actually need to know what your credit score is and what your credit report looks like in order to know the baseline from which you will be working from. Now, you can legally access your credit report for free once every year from the 4 major credit bureaus, but I would suggest to just check it out using the website called ClearScore, which will give you your credit report as well as show you your credit score for free forever. Here you can see how your credit score compares with the average in South Africa, see what actions have recently influenced your credit score, what your payment history on your credit account is, which accounts are reporting your credit history to the credit bureaus, and also which factors are affecting your credit score and how you can improve it. Now, one of the biggest things that will tank your credit score is if someone has stolen your identity and used your personal information to take out credit in your name and not pay it back. This will leave a nasty mark on your credit report, which will burn a deeper and deeper hole the longer it stays there. Identity theft is much more common than what you would think, with TransUnion reporting that 49% of South African consumers have either been a victim of identity theft or know someone else who has.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Millions of families suffer every year.
Our personal information is now more vulnerable than ever when we browse the internet, as any savvy hacker can clone our information if we use encrypted Wi-Fi networks, like the one we find in airports or coffee shops, to conduct personal business, like making banking transactions, logging into our email accounts, or even just browsing our favorite social media platforms. And that is where the sponsor of today's video, ExpressVPN, comes in. With ExpressVPN, you can encrypt your network data with top-of-the-line encryption that's virtually impossible for hackers to crack. This means your personal information stays safe and secure no matter where you are at or which network you're connected to. With ExpressVPN, you can sleep like a baby knowing that your personal information is protected from prying eyes and that you're taking proactive steps to keep your credit score safe and secure. Plus, ExpressVPN offers lightning fast speeds, 24/7 customer support, and trusted server technology that makes it physically impossible for any of their services to store logs of any customers. So, take the first step in the right direction of improving your credit score by using my link down in the description to sign up and get your first 3 months for absolutely free. Thanks again to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. And now let's see what the next step is to build up your credit score from scratch, which is to pay your rent and utilities on time. Although these accounts won't necessarily show up on your credit report, your service provider will likely turn your account over to the collection companies when you default on making payments. This will negatively impact your credit rating and therefore give your credit score a lelike knock. By the way, if you don't know how a credit score is calculated or how a credit report is compiled, then I would encourage you to go and watch this video of mine where I explain the whole process in detail. Next, I would open up a normal bank check account. Managing your bank account well is a good indicator of your financial responsibility, which goes a long way in establishing a good credit history. If you have the option to access an overdraft facility, then make use of it, but make sure that it stays within the overdraft limit. A good rule of thumb is to use no more than 25% of the available overdraft limit and then pay back what you owe quickly before the end of the month in order to avoid high interest payments. Next, and arguably the most important step, is to apply for a credit or a retail store card. Then use this card to make small purchases and repay the money before the end of every single month. Do not fall for the option to only pay the minimum amount which your bank will give you. They want to make money out of you, so pay off the full amount and do not fall for their traps. Try not to use more than 30% of your credit limit. So if you, for example, have a credit limit of 10,000 Rand, only use 3,000 Rand at a time. Now, you will likely only be approved for a small credit limit at the beginning, which is a good thing because it will teach you how to get into the habit of paying it back comfortably every single month. And once you begin to get more comfortable with credit and you've proven your ability to use your credit card responsibly, you can always ask for a credit limit increase. Now, many people get stuck at this step as not all banks are actually willing to grant everyone a credit card. So if this is not an option for you, then you can also consider the following. Credit cards come in two different forms: secured credit cards and unsecured credit cards. Unsecured credit cards are the standard where the bank will issue you a certain amount in the form of a credit limit which you can borrow and then repay. Most banks give a 55-day free interest period, which means that you can borrow that amount for up to 55 days without paying any interest on it. But if you do not have any credit history, then you are unlikely to be approved for an unsecured credit card. So instead, you can also consider applying for a secured or a prepaid credit card where you will need to top up the credit amount with your available money, which you can then use to buy other stuff. This will not put any risk on the bank as you are essentially only risking your own money, so you are much more likely to be approved. While you are using this secured credit card, you are starting to build up a credit rating, which will show the bank that you can use a credit card responsibly, which will hopefully later on enable you to apply for an unsecured credit card. Another good option is to apply for a store card, which, unlike credit cards, are much easier to be approved for. A store card is a form of a credit card that is branded with a specific store, used to purchase items on credit from that particular store or chain, which you then also pay off at the end of every month. Store cards often offer discounts on purchases you make, cashback rewards, as well as deals such as 2-for-1 specials. Now, various retailers in South Africa currently offer store cards, including Truworths, Identity, Foschini, TFG, Markham, Sports Scenes, Game Builders, Macro, etc. You can also check out the RCS store card on their website, which you can use at over 30,000 participating stores across South Africa. But when applying for credit cards, just be careful and take it slow. Having too many credit applications in a short period of time will signal to lenders that you are desperate for credit, which will result in a naughty mark on your credit report. I would personally limit my credit applications to not more than once every 3 months. It is important to understand that building up good credit is going to take a long time, several years, and you need to accept that. There's no quick and easy fix for a bad credit score, so patience is key during this whole process. It goes without saying, but don't fall for scams where people will claim that they can fix your credit score fast. They will probably just steal your money, or even worse, personal information and cause you to go down an even deeper debt spiral. Next, apply for a cell phone or a data contract in your name, as paying the monthly contract fee will also contribute to your credit score. It is likely that you will also need to take out some form of insurance, be it car, pet, funeral or short-term insurance, and your payment behavior on your insurance premiums will also be reported to the credit bureaus. It is usually quite easy to be approved for insurance, so both of these will also be good options to consider as well. Apart from these steps, it is important that you never ever miss your credit payments. Set aside some dedicated time at the end of every month to make sure that all of your credit payments are made and that you are not in arrears. Not only will late payments cause you to throw money in the water with unnecessary interest payments, but it will also reduce your credit score. Now, credit cards are double-edged swords. They serve individuals with financial discipline, but become a master of those without. Remember, and I want to make this very clear, the goal of this video is not to encourage you to take out credit to buy stupid stuff that you know that you cannot afford. The goal is to teach you how to use credit responsibly so that you can later on save hundreds and thousands of rands on your potential car and home loans. Debt can easily spiral out of control, so use your credit or store cards to only buy things that you would have bought in any case with cash, such as fuel, groceries and clothing, and pay it off at the end of every single month. Do not go ballistic with buying a car that you know that you cannot afford, even if the car dealer tells you can, by offering balloon payments or extended payment periods. These are all scams and they don't care about your financial well-being. They just want to make money off of you. Now, if you guys want to see a video where I explain all of the pitfalls to avoid when buying a new car, then let me know down in the comments. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Have a lucky day. Cheers.